spoken frequently on the telephone with our first inductee tonight. Over the last several months, and more so in the last couple of weeks, Bill Byrne probably began to wonder, who is this guy on the other end of my telephone line? But each time, he was kind and accommodating in answering my questions or explaining a point about his past.
In the 1950s, Warren Petroleum Company, based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, became the nation's largest marketer of natural gas liquids, and it was a leading supplier to the propane industry. A gentleman named Bill Byrne was establishing himself with the energy giant. Byrne grew up in Houston and, after graduating from high school in 1948, served 2 years in the Navy. His early years with Warren Petroleum, at the time a division of Gulf Oil, were also spent going to college. He eventually earned the undergraduate and graduate degrees in economics from Mississippi College and the University of Oklahoma, respectively. Through the years with Warren Petroleum, Byrne carried out a number of sales assignments across the country before ascending to vice president. The experience he gained in the oil and gas business proved pivotal for a propane industry that relied on his knowledge about the state of supply. He was a regular speaker at industry events, addressing challenges and solutions pertaining to the turbulent propane price and allocation control era of the 1970s. He also offered an annual analysis of the gas liquids business. At the same time, Byrne became a respected representative of the propane industry, offering an inside track to government agencies and producer companies. The relationships he built with them proved valuable amid industry concerns about supply or overregulation. Byrne served as the president of the National LP Gas Association Board in 1986. He sought to get producers more involved in the propane industry, and he played an important supportive role in the industry's pursuit of a checkoff program. Such a program would allow the industry to market itself to consumers. The association named Byrne its Bill Hill Award winner in 1992, the same year he retired from Warren Petroleum after a 40-year career, and he became principal of consultancy Byrne & Associates. He was also a valued board member of Heritage Propane and Energy Transfer Companies. Byrne's propane industry peers talk glowingly about him, both personally and professionally. As an industry leader, he was sneaky smart and a consensus builder. When he walked into a room, everyone would feel comfortable and enjoy his company. He's kind, considerate, and competitive. He's been described as first class. Byrne becomes the first inductee representing a propane supplier in the LP Gas Hall of Fame.
Byrnes, the two Byrnes, I want to thank you very much for sponsoring the evening and for the sponsors that we saw on the screen there. I think they all deserve a hand from all of you for appreciation for what they've done. It's been a good year. From starting in January 1916, or 2016. At my age, you're not sure. But I want to start off by explaining a few things tonight that the ones that I talk to, I don't hear very well anymore. Last year, starting in January of 2015, I had a reoccurrence of cancer, and I ended up at MD Anderson in Houston, and they gave me a good grade down there. They gave me a grade 4 on the cancer that I had, which, as you know, is not too good. And so they scheduled a surgery for me. This was a reoccurrence of cancer, and they scheduled surgery, and I met with a surgeon after the test, and their word was that the cancer was spreading so bad and so fast that they couldn't do anything with it. And they said that normal chemo, they couldn't operate, and normal chemo wouldn't help me. But the Lord takes care of people, and during that time, it was announced that they had a study going, a new drug for melanoma that had pretty good success. It slowed down some of the treatment, some of them in the studies. So Anderson got approval to use this drug, and I was the second one at Anderson that got the drug. And I want to tell you, I've had 20 chemos, which is not a lot, but after I had about 7 chemos, one of my oncologists told me that this drug was working for me. It's an immune therapy drug that probably most of you have heard about. It's received a lot of publicity, and the reason I'm saying this is that the man that developed this drug was awarded the top scientist of the year in 2015. And that's a world honor that he got. And about after 8 chemo treatments with this, I was told that this was melting away the cancer. And this was in about March of last year or April. And in August, they did surgery, and I continued the chemo. And 10 days ago, I was informed that I'm cancer-free. And so, thank you. And if I don't hear you tonight, the cancer took this hearing out of my side here. I have no hearing on this side and little here. And my saliva glands, if you will, went with the cancer, and that's why I have to take the water, because I get dry fast. But tonight I want to congratulate the people the other 3 individuals that are going into the Hall of Fame. They're all friends of mine from a long time ago. Darrell McClellan has been a friend for more years than we'd like to know, probably, but Darrell's contributions to this industry are enormous. He's been a strong contributor through all the years. And Tom, I didn't know Tom quite as well, Tom Noonan, but I knew him, and I knew him back in the Petroleum days, and he was a tremendous guy. And he did so many good things for this industry behind the scenes. And the third one that I want to recognize is my friend Robert Love. And Robert's son, Rob, will be up here later, but Robert Love was one of the best friends I ever had in my life. We've known each other for so many years and had such a great relationship, and he went well before his time. And I want to say that 2 weeks before Robert left us, he gave me a call at home, and he says, "I don't feel like talking much." He said, "I just want to tell you what your friendship has meant and that I love you." And that was Robert Love. And I want to say all 3 of these gentlemen that are going into the hall tonight are gentlemen, true gentlemen in every sense of the word. And I apologize for another thing. My wife, Mary, was unable to be here tonight, and at our age and stage of life, that's not unusual, but she and I took a flight within the last month, and with the long lines and the check-ins and all the problems at the airport, when we got back home, she used her executive privilege and declared Tulsa a no-fly zone. And I want to thank Dan and Jim and Rita for their nomination to me for this honor of going into your Hall of Fame. It means a lot to me, and you all know that. This business propane business is a strange business. It's, we've all, if you look around, we've all made our livelihoods out of that little product with 3 carbon molecules. We've all lived well, and we owe it our thanks to those pioneers that went back in those days and went out trying to sell a farmer on heating his house or cooking his food in the kitchen with propane. They're the ones that had the tough deal. They're the ones that had the tough go. The most of us through the years, we've just continued and carried on with what they started, and it's an honor to do that. I think, Brian, you said I've been 40 years in the business, and it sure seems like it at this stage. I didn't think when I was at Warren in the last number of years there as their vice president, I didn't feel like I was really that associated with the propane business as much as just the whole overall thing of managing the business, the pipelines and the plants and the fractionators. And I was on the Gulf and Chevron. I was over their international liquids, which require a lot of travel. But my first job after I'd gone with Warren, in about a year, they sent me to California and made me a propane salesman. So that's when I started, and I never got out of the business. Warren was a great company back in those days, and it was when I left. They pioneered a lot of things in the industry. The first week I was with the company, they took me out to their terminal in Ship Channel of Houston, and the Natalie O. Warren was a ship that was taking propane. This was in 1951, taking propane from Houston to Newark, New Jersey on a regular run. And, they thought that was unusual because nobody had ever been in that business before. They developed the Mont Belvieu facility down there with that. There's so many things. And under Gulf Oil, for so many years, Gulf bought Warren in 1954. Gulf was the most profitable division of Gulf Oil in the years that they held it. And it was just a pleasure to all the years that I spent there and the time that I worked with you all in the propane industry. And I was lucky enough when I retired from Chevron that Jim Berlesmeyer was nice enough to invite me to join his company on the board. And you talk about going from a company that you're performing very well and got all those bucks up there, and anything we needed we usually got. And Jim and his crew there, we watched the nickels and dimes in that business, and that's the way you do it. He proved that's how you build a great company. And I'll never forget when we were out one day, and in Jim's presence at that time, we were coming out of the hotel, and he says, did you have at my room, and he said, did you have a pen in the room? And I says, yeah, and he said, well, take it. He said, we need that back at the office. So this is the way it went in the early days, and I was so thrilled. I was part of the Energy Transfer family when we made the decision that we were going to sell Heritage Propane, and it was I'm the one that made the nomination to the board to sell Heritage, and it was a good moment. It was a sad moment, but it was a great company that you all in AmeriGas bought the company, and it was a good move on both parts. But Jim, you built a beautiful company, and but this has been a good life for all of us in the business. And when I first came in tonight, and I saw all this, I didn't come up when you all were having their drinks because I thought it was one of those $100,000 plate dinner for Hillary Clinton. And then I see all this here, and I've never seen this many propane people look this good before. You're a handsome group. But This is a great honor, and there's certainly more people more deserving probably than me to be here, but be in this group. But I want to tell you that I will always respect this industry and this group and treasure it for the rest of my life. Thank you so much.